Hi everyone, welcome back to Little Literary Love. My name is Shelby. I'm glad you all are with me today because today is going to be my spring TBR. Spring is just around the corner. It is March. I'm feeling the green, like florals. I am here for it. Spring is like it's a toss-up between spring and summer being my favorite seasons of the year. My birthday is in summer, so I usually tend to pick summer as my favorite, but I do get hot really easily and I like to stay inside most of the time in the summer. So I don't know, but I don't know, springtime just makes me so happy. I tend to get seasonal depression too, so when it turns into fall and winter, I kind of get depressed, but when spring rolls around, I just feel like I am myself again. I feel joyful and happy, and I just want to read all of the books. So we are getting to my spring TBR. So if you're new here, you have not watched any of my TBR videos, I don't do monthly TBRs because I tend to not do well with keeping to a TBR list, especially if it's cracked down into such short of a time as like a month long. So I decided to break up my TBRs into seasons, and so that way I have about 3 months to get through books that I want to read. And typically my reading taste, I'm very much a mood reader, so my reading tastes also kind of coincide with like seasons. Like there's certain times, like winter for instance, I usually want to read like darker books, or I want to read a lot of like fantasy or like cozy kind of books, or a lot of holiday books. But yes, so I don't know, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you all to be here watching this video with me. So we're gonna get into, I have narrowed it down to about 23 books that I have in my TBR. I have a lot more than that I still want to get to, but these ones are like my goals, and a lot of these books are helping me work towards my yearly goals that I have. So I have a lot of physical books that I own on my TBR because I'm wanting to try to get through a lot of these physical books. One of my goals is to read 2 physical books a month. Have not been doing the best at that so far. Then I also want to read more diversely, so I have a lot of BIPOC authors on this list because I'm wanting to read more of authors that are different from me, either non-white, male, or they have sexual orientation different from mine. Whatever the case may be, I'm wanting to try to diversify my reading a little bit more. So I have several of those authors on here. And then I have a bunch of just books that I've been eyeing for a while and wanting to read. I have some series that I've read like the first book of, and I want to continue on with the series. So that's another goal of mine, is to finish up series that I've already started. So I'm gonna work towards that. But yeah, so, oh, and then I have a few new releases on here as well. Some that I'm very excited to get to. So we're just gonna hop right in to my TBR. So my spring TBR, like I said, it's over 3 months. This is gonna span March, April, and May, to kind of coincide with when spring starts, because spring starts in the middle of March and goes through about the middle of June, just to kind of help. I'm keeping it to March, April, and May as my spring months. Anyway, enough jibber jabbering. First book, so the first 2 books that I'm going to talk about are just these new releases, and all 3 of these books are coming out in March. I'm sure there's probably going to be some more books that I'm looking forward to that come out in April and May. I just haven't really delved too deep into those quite yet. March is here, and these are the books that I am dying for right now. So first is going to be Hills of Shivers and Shadows by Pam Godwin. This is going to be the first book of a trilogy, and she does plan to put out the rest of the books in this trilogy this year. She has written the entire trilogy. It is complete. So I'm very excited to read all of this, and I'm excited that she decided to wait to put out these books until all of them were done so that she could do like a rapid fire release for them, which I love because I do really bad about keeping up with series, especially if I have long wait times between books. So this, in Pam Godwin fashion, is going to be, of course, a dark romance. This is supposed to be a kidnapping romance that takes place in Alaska. And I also heard that it is a polyamory romance, and a few different blurbs, like one blurb that I saw said there was 2 men, and then another one I saw said that there was 4 men, maybe. So I'm not really sure exactly how large this polyamorous wide shoes kind of romance is going to be. But whatever, I'm here for it. This also is supposed to be a chunker of a book. It's like over 700 pages just for this first book of this trilogy. So I haven't had a new Pam Godwin release in a few years, so I'm very excited for this one. And then the other new release that I'm looking forward to is The Homewrecker by Sarah Kate. This is coming out March 25th. This is the second book in her Good Boy series, and I cannot wait for it. The Antihero was one of my favorite books from last year. I loved it. I am loving just anything that Sarah Kate writes. I am here for it. I don't really care what she writes. Whatever it is, I'm gonna read it because I can't wait for this. But this is supposed to be a throuple romance, an MMF. This is supposed to be a marriage in trouble, so one of the couples is married. There's also supposed to be cheating trope in here. I'm not the biggest fan of cheating trope, but I trust Sarah Kate that she will not lead me astray. I am so excited for this one. I cannot wait. Okay, so those are my new releases that I'm excited for. Then we're gonna get to my like physical books that I have, TBR, if I can find them. Hey everyone, Editing Shelby here. So I'm coming in just like a little snippet to break up this video. I just talked about how there was a few new releases that I'm looking forward to reading, and I am still looking forward to reading those, but I'm cutting this video down to only talking about 2 of them because the other one is being published by St. Martin's Press. And if you're not aware, there is a boycott going around right now against this publisher. One of the employees of this publishing company made some racist comments, and then I don't know if that was the same employee or if there was another employee, and after they made these racist comments, there was this boycott started. This group kind of started this, asking that this publisher, you know, make comments about this, either like how are they going to handle this, you know, either apologizing or whatnot. And they kind of brushed that off. But then there was also some other incident where one of these protesters, there was a Black woman, and one of the employees from this publishing company, I don't know if it was the same one or if this was a different one, made comments about how they knew where she was at, and just some really strange comments that were not okay. So anyway, I'm participating in this boycott because I do not think it's okay for them to just kind of allow these racist comments and then not comment about that, either holding this employee accountable for those, or apologizing, or making assurances that they are wanting to keep, you know, that the safety of their readers and their authors are important to them, especially and ensuring that there is diversity and, you know, helping like marginalized people. So I don't know, it just doesn't sit right with me. So anyway, so I am still part of this boycott, which I'll put stuff down below real quick in the description. Excuse me, I'm blanking on this. I have my kids running around while I'm filming this real quick. About this boycott. It does not mean that you cannot still buy these books. I am still going to be buying these books that I'm excited about, this new one that is releasing, but I will not talk about it. I'm even going to be holding off. I'll probably read it right away, but I'm probably going to hold off saying that I read it or talking about it in any kind of form, even on like Goodreads, until this boycott is over, if it ever does get over. So I'm refraining from trying to pick up any books from this publisher. And St. Martin's Press is a very big umbrella publisher. They have lots of smaller publishing companies underneath them. So it includes all of those. So there's like St. Martin's Press, there's Macmillan, Wednesday, I think, is another one. There's several others. So I'm refraining from those. And instead, because that encompassed 3 books that I have for my spring TBR, I'm still going to read those, but I'm not actually going to put them on my actual like TBR of like books that I want to read. I am going to be taking those off and instead putting 3 other books that I had on my bookshelves, my physical like TBR to kind of work through. And 2 of them are BIPOC authors. So I thought that was a good switch from this company that sounds like they're not really supporting marginalized people or diversity within their company. So now I'm going to read some BIPOC authors and try to support them. So I'm going to real quick go through the 3 extra books that I picked up, and then we'll get back to my normally filmed video so you can get to the rest of my TBR. So first is going to be The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I've had this on my TBR for a very long time. I actually went to a V.E. Schwab signing several months ago, and I was blown away by this author. She's just absolutely brilliant, and I just love her as a person. So I don't know a ton about this. I just know this Addie LaRue person. She makes a deal with, I think, a devil person, something like that, to live forever, but then the cost of that is that nobody remembers her. And I think there might be a little bit of a romance in here. Not too sure about that. And then I have The 100,000 Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin. Again, I don't know a ton about this one. I know it is a fantasy book. I don't even know if there's a romance in here, but N.K. Jemisin is a BIPOC author, and I've just heard nothing but good things about this author. I have this and one other book that is like the first of a series for her, so I've had this on my TBR for a while, so I wanted to get to it. I know there's something with like this kingdom, the 100,000 Kingdoms, and this woman becomes like an heiress to this kingdom, maybe. And then the last new book that I put on my TBR is going to be Anna Maria and the Fox by Liana de la Rosa. This is a historical romance. This is a Mexican heiress and a British politician, I think is what it is. But I have wanted to put this on my TBR. First of all, this cover is gorgeous. Second of all, I love seeing diversity in historical romance. I'm getting so tired of the typical white character historical romances that take place in Regency Victorian England, where all they're looking for, the woman is only just looking for a husband. I get so tired of that. I want more diversity in my historical romances. So I found this at my local Barnes & Noble, and I was so excited to find it there. I've heard really good things about this book. I love seeing more diversity in historical romances, and I want more of it. So I'm really looking forward to checking this one out and reading it. So now we're going back to the normal video. Then we have The Viscount Made Me Do It by Deanna Quincy. This is the second book in her Clandestine Affair series. So this is a historical romance. I picked the first book up of this at the end of last year or beginning of this year, something like that. And I really enjoyed it. So Diana Quincy is a Palestinian author, so I was wanting to try to support her with everything going on with Palestine right now. So she's also a BIPOC author. I really enjoyed the first book of this series. This one is supposed to be, she is a, what is it, a bone setter? Something like, it sounded like more like something in the medical field, and then he is her patient and they have a love story, so very intrigued. Then we have The Witch Collector by Teresa. weeks. All I know about this one is that this is a fantasy romance. I've had this on my shelf for a while. I've heard nothing about good things about this series. So I think this is going to be one of those ones that I'm just going to go into blind and see what happens. Then we have Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent. Carissa Broadbent is another author that I want to read everything that she puts out. This is an enemies to lovers vampire fantasy romance, where of course I think she is trying to assassinate this vampire guy, and I'm here for it and I can't wait to read this. Then I want to get to Lore Olympus by Rachel Smythe. I've heard nothing but good things about this as well. So this is a graphic novel. And it's kind of blown up. It started on Webtoon and now it got published, and I have, if you can kind of see it over here, I have several other volumes of this. So this is volume 1. I have not read this. I want to get to it. I figured this would be a really quick and easy read since it is in graphic novel format, but this is supposed to be a Hades and Persephone retelling, so I'm super excited for that because I love Hades and Persephone. Is one of my favorite Greek mythology retellings. Then I have Desire Unchained by Larissa Ione. This is the second book in her Demonica series. I read the first book a long time ago, so I'm probably going to reread that one as well before I get to this one. But this is paranormal romance, and this is romance with a demon. I know in the first book, the demon is a doctor in this underground demon hospital, which I thought was very intriguing, very cool concept. And I remember after reading the first book wanting to see where else this world went and where this author took these characters, and then I just never picked it up. So it is time to revisit this series. I'm very excited about it. Then we have Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. Kennedy Ryan is another favorite author of mine. I have not read too many books of hers, but I want to read more of her, and the second book of this series is coming out sometime in March. So I figured I needed to get to this. I just think this cover is so gorgeous. This is supposed to be a second chance romance between a divorced couple. I believe this features black love as well. I could be wrong on that one. I know Kennedy Ryan a lot of times features interracial romances, but I think this one might be black love. I think both of these characters black. So I don't know, whatever it is, I'm here for it. I can't wait to pick this one up. And then similarly, sort of, we have 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. I've heard nothing but good things about this one as well. This is another second chance romance, and it just the blurb for this sounds so cute, and I really want to read this. So this is about two authors, and they met when they were teenagers and had kind of this fling together, and then over the years they've secretly been writing to each other in their works. I love it. I can't wait to read this. And apparently they kind of I guess rekindle their romance over the course of 7 days. And I'm super excited to pick this one up. It sounds so good. Then we have a few more BIPOC authors. So then I have Auntie Up by Christina C. Jones. This book I've put on several TBRs and I still have yet to get to it. So I'm hoping this time around I do. I don't know a ton about this one. I know this takes place in Vegas and our heroine is a poker player. And then the hero of this story, I don't know if he runs the casino that she's playing poker at or what happens. I think they have a one-night stand at some point. Not too sure about it, but I've heard good things, so I want to try this one. I want to try some more Christina C. Jones stories. Then I have Outdrawn by Deanna Gray. This cover, first of all, looks so cute. This is a sapphic romance, and this is a rivals to lovers story. I think both of these women are they either draw or they're they do like comic books or something of that nature. Anyway, it looked really good. I can't wait to read it. And then Only for the Weak by Natasha Bishop. I've been seeing this book around. This is it sounds like it's going to be pretty drama filled, which sometimes I like and sometimes I don't like, so we'll kind of see how I feel about this one. But this girl hooks up with somebody while she is at her sister's wedding to her ex. So, like I said, sounds like it's going to be full of lots of drama, but I'm excited to try it out. Then we have some like more romantic-y books that I want to get to. Ballad of Sea and Sky by Madeline Elliott. This is supposed to be an enemies to lovers romantic-y story, fated mates between a Selkie princess and the Siren King, and they are like rivals, enemies. So I've heard really good things about this one. I can't wait to get to it. And then Between Wrath and Mercy by Jess Wisecup, another one I've heard rave reviews for, another romantic-y story. I don't know a ton about what happens in this one. I believe this is I've heard it's a single mother. Her teenage daughter goes missing, and so she's on a hunt to find down her daughter. And in the meantime, there's also sort of like a second chance romance that happens. I don't know, I've heard really good things and I can't wait to try it. Then a monster romance, so A Polar Expedition and Other Stimulating Research Opportunities by Cass O'Shire. I love this cover, and I love the cover of the second book as well. This is a polar bear shifter. He's supposed to be a cinnamon roll character, and you all know how much I love a good cinnamon roll character. And then our heroine is plus sized, and this sounds so good. I've heard good things about it. Then I have The Lovely Return by Kieran Cole. This has been sitting in my Kindle since this book released because I was going to read it right away, and then I don't know what happened. I just never did. So I want to finally get to this one. I really enjoy Kieran Cole's writing. This is supposed to be an unconventional second chance because the hero of the story, his wife, dies, and then she gets reincarnated into this little girl. So then there's like an age gap. I don't know. I think it sounds so good, and I can't wait to read it finally. And then we have Eden by Lily Mayne. This is the second book in her Monstrous series. I read The Soul Eater last year and absolutely loved it, so it's time that I read the second book. I've had this on several TBRs because I've been meaning to get to it. This is a male-male monster romance, and I'm pretty sure all of the books of this series are male-male monster romances. So I'm super excited about that. Then I have Heartless by Elsie Silver. This entire series has like blown up everywhere. Everybody is raving about this series. I read the first book last year and really enjoyed it and wanted to continue on with the series and just never did. So this is like small town cowboy romance, and our hero of this one is a single dad. Then we have A Kiss of Iron by Claire Sager. I've been really wanting to try out Claire Sager's writing. I've heard really good things. This is another like romantic-y story, and this is supposed to be enemies to lovers and then within like a court. So it said there's a lot of like court intrigue in here, and I'm very intrigued by it. So. And then the last book that I have on my TBR is going to be Irresistible by Melanie Harlow. Melanie Harlow is another author that I hear so many good things about, that everybody loves. She writes mostly small town romances, which is not typically my cup of tea, but I really want to try her out. And this one is supposed to be another single dad romance. So there we go, everybody. That is going to be all the books for my spring TBR. Please leave a comment down below with some of the books that you're looking forward to reading this spring. What are some books that are on your TBR that you're wanting to get to? Make sure you hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. Otherwise, I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.